Liam adjusted the controls of his small spacecraft as it descended through the thick, violet clouds of Xylaris. The planet was infamous across the galaxy. Every space station, every explorer, and even distant travelers whispered about it in hushed tones. The name alone brought a chill, home to the ravenous alien females tribe, a species that had become a legend of fear. According to reports, the tribe was powerful, fast, and unstoppable. Any spaceship that got too close risked being attacked or chased away. Many had tried to learn more about them, but no human had ever returned with friendly stories. Yet Liam felt no fear. He had trained for years, not as a soldier or a hunter, but as an observer. He wanted to see Xylaris for himself, to understand it and to learn the truth behind the frightening stories. As he looked out the small window of his ship, the planet stretched below him like a painting. Its forests were a dark shade of green that shimmered under the strange light of the planet's twin suns. Rivers glowed faintly, as if lit from below, and distant mountains rose sharply, their peaks hidden in swirling purple mist. The landing was tricky. The terrain was uneven, and strong winds threatened to push the ship off course. Liam carefully maneuvered the craft, feeling the subtle hum of its engines respond to his touch. With one final adjustment, the ship touched the ground with a soft thud. Dust and leaves swirled around as Liam opened the hatch and stepped out. The air smelled different, sweet but sharp at the same time. It made him cough slightly, but it was breathable, thanks to his training and the environmental filters in his suit. Liam took his first steps on Xylaris, feeling the soft ground beneath his boots. He looked around carefully. The forest stretched in every direction, dense and alive. Strange plants swayed even though there was no wind, and some emitted soft glowing pulses like they were breathing. Liam had seen many planets, but there was something almost magical about this one. He felt both excitement and caution. Every movement had to be careful. He knew he was being watched, though he could not see by whom or what. He pulled out a small scanner and began mapping the area. According to data from other explorers, the ravenous tribe patrolled these lands. He had heard stories. Massive, agile alien women, their bodies marked with glowing patterns, moving silently yet powerfully, striking fear into anyone who dared enter their forests. But as he scanned the area, Liam noticed something else. Traces of life, yes, but not signs of immediate aggression. Footprints that were too large to be human, marks on the trees as if something had brushed against them, and small nests that seemed carefully arranged. The planet seemed alive, intelligent in its own way. As he walked deeper into the forest, Liam reminded himself to stay calm. Many explorers had rushed, tried to confront the unknown, or acted out of fear. They had failed. He moved slowly, listening to the faint hums and whispers of the alien forest. Occasionally, he would see a shadow move between the trees, quick and fluid. Each time he froze, not out of fear but to observe. Whatever was there, it seemed curious, not hostile. Hours passed and Liam noticed a clearing up ahead. The sunlight, or the twin suns' glow, fell in soft beams, lighting the center of the clearing. And then he saw them. At first, he thought he was imagining it. Tall figures with lithe bodies and glowing markings moving with astonishing speed and grace. Their eyes reflected the light in colors he had never seen before. These were the ravenous alien females, and yet they were not rushing at him or attacking. Instead, they seemed to pause, to watch him. Liam knew that his actions in the next moments would decide everything. He lowered his hands, showing no weapon, no threat. Slowly, he placed a small fruit he had picked from the forest on the ground. It glowed faintly, harmless, but it was a gesture, a signal of peace. The tribe's eyes followed the fruit. They approached it carefully, moving as if testing whether it was safe. Liam held his breath, watching them. After a long pause, one of the aliens reached out and touched the fruit. Nothing happened. Another stepped forward, sniffing the air. Curious but calm, Liam realized then that fear was not universal. Perhaps he thought the ravenous tribe was feared not because they were cruel, but because others had misunderstood them. And perhaps he, a human with patience and respect, could learn something no one else had yet. The first day on Xylaris ended with Liam sitting at the edge of the clearing, watching the alien tribe move through the forest. For the first time, he felt a spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this planet and its inhabitants could be understood. Liam woke to the gentle glow of Xylaris's twin suns filtering through the trees. The night had been quiet, almost eerily so. The sounds of the forest, Soft hums, rustling leaves, and distant calls of unknown creatures filled the air like a melody. He remembered the first sight of the ravenous tribe from the previous day and felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, he hoped to learn more, perhaps even approach them. He packed a small bag with essentials, some nutrient bars, a water container, and a few pieces of glowing fruit he had found earlier. These fruits seemed harmless, and he thought they might serve as a gesture of goodwill. With careful steps, he moved toward the clearing where he had first seen the tribe. The forest around him was alive, each plant and creature moving in rhythm with the others. Liam felt that he was stepping into a living world, one that had rules he did not yet fully understand. As he neared the clearing, he paused. His heart raced, not from fear, but from anticipation. The tribe was there again. Several figures moved gracefully among the trees, their glowing markings like ribbons of light that shifted with their motions. They were taller than humans, with strong yet elegant forms. Their movements were cautious yet purposeful, as if they were always aware of every detail in their environment. Liam knew he had to be careful. Any sudden movement could trigger an instinctive reaction. He took a deep breath and lowered himself slightly to appear smaller and non-threatening. He extended one hand, showing that he carried nothing that could harm them. Then slowly he set a glowing fruit on the forest floor, a simple offering. The closest alien female approached, her eyes reflecting the light of the suns locked on the fruit first, then on Liam. She bent forward, sniffing the air cautiously. Liam remained perfectly still, trying to convey patience and respect. Another alien joined, tilting her head in curiosity. Liam could feel their intelligence, a sharp and careful awareness. This was no mindless predator, as the stories had claimed. They were observers just like him, but on their own terms. For several long minutes, no one moved too quickly. Liam's breathing slowed, and he tried to remain calm. The first alien reached out a slender hand and touched the fruit. Her fingers brushed it lightly, then withdrew. She sniffed the air again, watching Liam's reaction. He did not flinch. Instead, he smiled softly and made a slow nod, a silent signal that he meant no harm. The tribe seemed to exchange silent communication with each other. Their glowing markings pulsed slightly, like a language Liam could not yet understand. He realized that this was more than curiosity. They were testing him, gauging whether he belonged in their world. Liam thought carefully about his next step. He needed patience. Respect alone would not be enough. He had to show understanding. He picked up another fruit and held it in both hands, making a slow motion of offering it to the aliens. One of them stepped closer, her movements smooth and deliberate. She took the fruit carefully and examined it. Another followed, taking a step closer to Liam. Each movement was a careful negotiation, a silent dance of trust and caution. By midday, Liam found himself sitting at a respectful distance while the tribe moved around him. They did not attack. They did not run. They simply observed, curious about this human who did not fear them. He realized that the legends were misleading. Perhaps the tribe had always been misunderstood. Other humans and alien species had approached them with fear, aggression, or greed, which had led to conflict. Liam's calm and patience created a new kind of interaction, one based on mutual observation. As the suns climbed higher, the tribe started performing small rituals. They moved in patterns through the clearing, touching plants and whispering soft sounds that Liam could not understand. Their voices were melodic, low, and soothing. Liam sat quietly, taking notes in a small digital pad, careful not to make sudden noises. He recorded their movements, their markings, and their reactions to him. By evening, Liam noticed something remarkable. One of the alien females, the one who had first accepted the fruit, began to mimic his gestures. She crouched slightly, extending her hand in a motion similar to his earlier offering. Liam smiled. This was communication, a beginning of understanding across worlds. He slowly nodded, returning the gesture. A small connection had been made. As the day ended, Liam felt a strange sense of accomplishment. He had entered a world that everyone feared, and yet he had not been harmed. More than that, he had learned that curiosity, patience, and respect could open doors that fear could not. The tribe was not ravenous in the sense the stories said. They were guardians of their world, cautious and intelligent. And for the first time, Liam felt that he was not just an observer. He was part of a story that had yet to be written, a story of humans and the ravenous tribe learning to understand each other. As the twin suns set, painting the sky in shades of violet and gold, Liam settled down at the edge of the clearing. The aliens moved gracefully among the trees, their glowing markings blending with the forest light. Liam knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges and discoveries, but he was ready. For the first time on Xylaris, he felt that fear could be replaced with understanding. The morning light of Xylaris filtered through the towering trees as Liam made his way deeper into the forest. After his first encounter with the ravenous tribe, he had learned one important rule. Patience was everything. Today, he hoped to observe more closely, to understand the ways of these aliens whose reputation had terrified countless explorers before him. As he moved quietly among the trees, Liam noticed subtle signs of life everywhere. Small glowing plants pulsed in rhythm with the wind, and tiny creatures scurried through the undergrowth. But his attention was drawn to the tribe itself. From a distance, he watched several figures weaving through the forest, moving with grace and precision. Their glowing markings shifted slightly as they moved, like a secret language only they could understand. Liam realized that these markings might carry information, emotions, signals, or even warnings. He settled behind a cluster of thick foliage, keeping himself hidden. From this vantage point, he could see the tribe's behaviors more clearly. They were not simply hunters as the stories had claimed. Each movement seemed purposeful and coordinated. Some of the females were tending to small nests made of woven plants and vines. Others were foraging, selecting food carefully, never wasting a single piece. Liam marveled at their intelligence. These were not creatures driven by hunger alone. They were thinkers, caretakers, and protectors of their world. As the hours passed, Liam observed something remarkable: cooperation. The tribe worked together to solve small problems in their environment. One female nudged a large branch blocking a path while another helped guide a young one safely through the clearing. Their gestures were subtle but precise, and Liam realized that their society had rules and organization, even if he could not yet understand them fully. Curiosity pushed him further. Liam decided to leave small gifts for the tribe: fruits he had gathered, clean water from a nearby stream, and simple tools he had brought from his ship. Each time he left the items carefully and stepped back, giving the aliens space. Over time, he noticed that they approached the gifts, studied them, and even used some of the tools in small ways. It was a slow form of communication, a way of sharing without words. Liam felt a connection growing, fragile but real. By midday, Liam saw a scene that surprised him. A young female of the tribe had become entangled in a vine while exploring. She struggled briefly, then froze, unsure what to do. The others paused nearby, observing. Liam instinctively wanted to help, but he hesitated. He remembered the first rule of interacting with the tribe: respect their space. After careful thought, he gently approached and used a long stick to free the vine without touching her directly. The young alien froze at first, but then quickly retreated to her group. The others watched, and for a moment, Liam thought he saw a flicker of acknowledgement in their glowing markings. This moment became a turning point. The tribe began to show subtle signs of trust. One of the females, slightly larger and older than the rest, approached Liam at a safe distance. She observed him quietly, her head tilted in curiosity. Liam returned the gesture, making slow, deliberate movements to show he meant no harm. He offered another fruit, holding it low to the ground. The alien approached cautiously, took the fruit, and retreated, glancing back at him. It was a small act, but Liam felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Over the next several days, Liam settled into a routine. He would rise with the suns, observe the tribe, and take careful notes. He learned about their rituals, the way they moved in patterns through the forest, how they shared food, and how they communicated with soft, melodic sounds. He began to understand that the ravenous label was a misunderstanding of human perspective. The tribe took only what they needed, cared for their young, and maintained the balance of their environment. Liam also learned from observation that the tribe was intelligent in ways humans rarely considered. They solved problems creatively, used tools, and even appeared to plan ahead. He realized that fear of them was based on misunderstanding and exaggeration. They were not monsters. They were a species thriving in harmony with their planet, defending it with wisdom rather than aggression. By evening, Liam sat at the edge of the clearing, watching the tribe move gracefully among the glowing plants. The air was filled with soft sounds, the rhythm of their world. Liam felt a profound sense of respect. These aliens, feared by so many, were a civilization to admire. And for the first time, He realized that his presence here could serve a purpose greater than observation. He could learn from them and perhaps one day share that knowledge with the wider galaxy. As the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Liam reflected on the day's discoveries. He had come to Xylaris expecting danger, but instead he found intelligence, cooperation, and beauty. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but he felt ready. The ravenous tribe was no longer a source of fear. They were teachers in a world that humans had misunderstood for too long, and Liam was determined to learn everything he could. The morning light on Xylaris came slowly, soft beams cutting through the dense forest and illuminating the glowing plants along Liam's path. Today felt different. He could sense it in the air. The forest was alive with energy, as if it too watched him carefully. After several days of observation, Liam had learned much about the ravenous tribe. He understood that fear alone would never earn their acceptance. Patience, respect, and thoughtful actions were the keys. Liam carried a small bundle of supplies with him: fresh fruits, clean water, and a few simple tools. These were not gifts meant to bribe the tribe, but offerings of goodwill, gestures showing he meant no harm. As he approached the clearing where he had first seen the tribe, he slowed his pace, lowering himself slightly to appear non-threatening. The aliens were already there, moving gracefully among the glowing plants. Their eyes, reflecting the twin suns, flicked toward him, studying his every motion. For a long while, no one moved closer. Liam remembered the first rule: always let the tribe decide the pace. He set down a glowing fruit on the ground and stepped back. Then he waited. Time stretched, the forest sounds filling the quiet. A young alien female, curious but cautious, approached the offering. She sniffed it, touched it lightly, and then moved away. Another followed, her markings pulsing gently. Liam could almost sense the tribe's thoughts, their silent communication through gestures and colors. Hours passed, and Liam observed them carefully. He noticed their interactions with one another, how they shared resources, cared for the young, and worked together to maintain their forest. He realized the ravenous stories were a misunderstanding. The tribe took only what they needed and respected the balance of their environment. Liam knew that if he wanted to be trusted, he had to show that he too respected these rules. His opportunity came unexpectedly. While exploring a small stream near the clearing, Liam noticed a young alien female struggling to climb a slippery bank. Her small hands grasped at roots, but the incline was too steep. Liam hesitated for a moment, remembering the importance of caution. Then gently he extended a sturdy branch toward her, holding it as a climbing aid. She paused, her glowing markings flickering in what Liam interpreted as hesitation, and then grasped it carefully. Slowly she climbed to safety. The others watched silently, standing nearby but not interfering. This simple act changed everything. The young female glanced back at Liam, her head tilting slightly, and then returned to her group. The older members of the tribe, the ones who had observed from a distance, approached cautiously. Liam did not move quickly or make sudden gestures. He simply sat watching, allowing the aliens to decide how close to come. One by one they stepped forward, their movements deliberate and careful. By midday, Liam noticed a remarkable development. One of the older females began to mimic his gestures. He held out a fruit lowered to the ground, and she mirrored him, offering a small piece of forest plant in return. Liam smiled. This simple exchange was communication, a first step toward understanding. No words were needed. Respect, patience, and thoughtful action had opened a bridge between two species. Over the next few days, Liam continued these small interactions. He learned to recognize their gestures and subtle signals. He offered food, tools, and even guidance in navigating tricky areas of the forest. Each time the tribe responded with curiosity, not aggression. They began to approach him without hesitation, observing his actions closely. Liam realized that trust was growing, not through fear or dominance, but through shared understanding and careful respect. One evening, as the twin suns set and the forest glowed with soft colors, Liam sat among the trees, watching the tribe move gracefully through their territory. The young female he had helped earlier approached, tilting her head and making soft, melodic sounds. Liam responded with gentle movements, and she mirrored him. The older members of the tribe watched from nearby, their glowing markings pulsing in a pattern he was beginning to understand as acknowledgement. Liam felt a sense of accomplishment unlike anything he had experienced before. He had entered a world feared by countless humans and alien explorers, yet he had not only survived, but begun forming bonds. The tribe was no longer a distant mystery or a terrifying legend. They were a society full of intelligence, care, and wisdom. And Liam had begun to earn their trust, step by careful step. As night fell, Liam returned to his camp at the edge of the forest. He reflected on the day's events and realized that this was only the beginning. Trust had been earned, but understanding would take much longer. Yet for the first time on Xylaris, he felt a deep connection with the ravenous tribe, a bond built on patience, respect, and the simple universal language of goodwill. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, and perhaps even closer interaction with the tribe. Liam knew that fear had no place here. Only observation, empathy, and thoughtful action could lead to true understanding. And he was ready for that journey. Liam had grown comfortable on Xylaris, moving quietly among the forest and observing the ravenous tribe. The trust he had earned was delicate but real. He had learned their routines, their gestures, and the soft, melodic sounds they used to communicate. The aliens had begun to allow him closer, no longer viewing him as a threat but as a careful and respectful presence. Liam felt a growing sense of connection, yet he knew the forest still held dangers beyond the tribe itself. One morning, Liam noticed a change in the forest. The air felt heavier, and the usual soft hum of the plants seemed disturbed. He paused, listening carefully. In the distance, a low rumble echoed through the trees. Liam's scanner picked up unusual energy readings, large creatures moving toward the tribe's territory. They were not like anything he had seen before. Enormous, predatory, and destructive. If they reached the tribe, chaos would follow. He immediately thought of a plan. Liam did not have weapons powerful enough to fight these creatures, nor did he want to harm them unnecessarily. Instead, he relied on knowledge and strategy, using his understanding of the terrain and the tribe's movements. He knew the forest's rivers, cliffs, and hidden pathways could be used to guide the intruders away. But he had to act carefully. The tribe needed to remain safe, and he could not risk frightening them. Liam approached the clearing where the tribe gathered. The aliens sensed the change in the air. Their glowing markings pulsed faster, and their melodic calls became urgent. Liam gestured calmly, pointing toward the approaching threat. The tribe hesitated, unsure of the situation. Liam remained still, showing no fear, only determination. Slowly, they began to understand. His gestures were simple, clear, and deliberate. Using his knowledge of the terrain, Liam led the tribe toward a narrow canyon. The intruders, massive creatures with jagged armor and sharp claws, followed. Liam signaled the tribe to spread out and use the forest strategically. They moved gracefully, dodging the intruders, drawing them into traps that Liam had observed naturally in the environment: fallen logs, deep pits, and slippery slopes. The tribe's agility combined with Liam's planning worked in perfect harmony. At one point, a young female of the tribe stumbled on a loose rock. Liam was there instantly, steadying her with a careful touch and helping her regain balance. The older members of the tribe observed silently but with acknowledgement in their glowing patterns. Liam realized that trust was not only about observation, but also about action when needed. His presence had become a part of their strategy, a bridge between human thinking and alien instinct. The battle of wits continued throughout the day. Liam guided the tribe to use natural barriers, funneling the predators into safe traps without causing harm. The intruders became frustrated and disoriented, unable to navigate the clever defenses. Finally, the creatures retreated, defeated not by force but by intelligence and teamwork. The tribe watched carefully as the intruders disappeared into the forest, their glowing markings returning to calm, rhythmic patterns. After the danger had passed, Liam sat at a safe distance observing the tribe. He felt a profound sense of relief. Not only had they survived, but they had done so without unnecessary conflict. The tribe began moving closer to him, their curious eyes reflecting appreciation. One of the older females approached, tilting her head, and made a series of melodic sounds that Liam had learned to interpret as acknowledgement and respect. The shared threat had changed something between them. Liam was no longer just an observer. He had become part of their world, a trusted ally. The tribe's confidence in him had grown, and he had learned that intelligence and patience could protect life just as effectively as any weapon. That evening, Liam reflected on the day's events. The forest was quiet again, filled with the soft hum of life. The tribe gathered near him, their young playing safely in the clearing. Liam realized that fear often came from misunderstanding. The tribe had been feared not because of cruelty but because of unfamiliarity. By working together and showing respect, humans in the tribe could achieve harmony, even in the face of danger. As the twin suns set, painting the sky in shades of violet and gold, Liam felt a deep connection with Zalaris and its inhabitants. He had come to the planet expecting danger and fear, but he had found cooperation, intelligence, and mutual respect. The tribe had taught him that understanding could overcome legend, and that patience could build bridges even between species as different as humans and the ravenous tribe. Liam knew this was only the beginning. More lessons awaited, more discoveries to be made. But for the first time he felt truly accepted in a world that had once been feared across the galaxy. He smiled, knowing that together, humans and the ravenous tribe could face challenges with respect, wisdom, and unity. The morning on Zalaris began quietly, with the twin suns rising slowly above the forest canopy. Liam stepped out of his small camp and took a deep breath. The air was crisp, filled with the subtle scent of glowing plants and the distant hum of life all around. Today, he knew, would be another opportunity to strengthen the bond he had begun with the ravenous tribe. Over the past days, he had observed, learned, and even helped in small ways. Now trust had been established, but understanding would take deeper connection. Liam moved carefully through the forest, noting the patterns of sunlight and shadow. The tribe had begun to appear more frequently, moving gracefully through their territory without hesitation. Their glowing markings pulsed with rhythm, almost like a heartbeat that matched the forest itself. Liam had learned that these markings were more than decoration. They communicated emotion, intent, and sometimes subtle warnings. Watching them now, he felt more confident yet still cautious, respecting their space as he approached. As he neared a familiar clearing, Liam noticed the younger members of the tribe playing near a stream. Their movements were agile and full of energy, weaving among glowing plants and splashing water gently. Liam sat quietly on a nearby rock, taking notes on their behavior. He realized how much care the older members gave to the young, guiding them and teaching them the ways of the forest. There was no recklessness, only careful, deliberate movement and attention. Liam found himself admiring the tribe's intelligence and discipline. Suddenly, one of the older females approached Liam directly. She moved with confidence, yet her posture showed no aggression. Liam held out his hand in a slow gesture of greeting, and she paused, tilting her head as if studying him. Slowly, she extended a hand-like appendage and touched his palm lightly. The contact was brief but significant. Liam felt a sense of connection, as though the tribe recognized him not as an outsider, but as someone who respected their ways. Over the next hours, Liam observed more closely how the tribe communicated. Their melodic calls were intricate, almost like songs, and he noticed subtle patterns in how they moved together. Sometimes they circled one another in precise formations. Sometimes they split into pairs to explore or gather food. Each action had purpose and meaning. Liam realized that intelligence, cooperation, and respect were the true pillars of their society. Fear had been the misconception. Understanding revealed harmony. To deepen this mutual respect, Liam decided to participate in small ways. He mimicked some of the tribe's movements carefully, using slow, deliberate gestures. He offered fruits and safe tools, placing them where the tribe could examine them. The older female who had first approached him mirrored his movements, a small but meaningful sign of trust. Through this silent exchange, Liam began to communicate with the tribe in a language beyond words, built on observation, action, and patience. Later in the day, Liam noticed a problem in the forest. A small section of the stream had shifted, creating a hazard for the young members of the tribe. The older females moved quickly to guide them, but Liam had an idea. Using his knowledge of simple tools and the environment, he constructed a small bridge of fallen branches, reinforcing it carefully without disrupting the natural surroundings. The tribe examined the bridge with curiosity. Then, one by one, the young crossed safely, guided by the adults. Liam realized that this act had earned further trust. He was no longer just an observer. He had become a helper, a partner in their world. As the suns began to set, Liam and the tribe gathered in the clearing. The older females made soft melodic calls and their markings glowed warmly. Liam responded with slow gestures, mirroring their calls and movements. There was no need for words. The connection was clear. The tribe had accepted him fully, not out of necessity, but through recognition of his respect and care. Liam felt a sense of fulfillment, understanding that mutual respect was stronger than fear, and patience stronger than force. That evening, Liam sat at the edge of the clearing, watching the tribe move gracefully through their territory. The young played, the adults guided, and the forest hummed with life. Liam reflected on how far he had come. He had arrived as an outsider in a world feared by many. Yet through observation, careful action, and respect, he had built trust and understanding. The tribe was no longer a distant legend of fear. They were teachers, guides, and partners in a world humans had misunderstood. As the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Liam felt hope. The ravenous tribe thrived, intelligent and proud, and humans had begun to learn from them. Through patience, empathy, and respect, bonds could be formed even across species. And for the first time, Liam felt that humans could truly begin to understand the wonders and wisdom of Xylaris. The suns of Xylaris rose gently, casting soft beams of light through the tall trees and illuminating the glowing plants that lined the forest floor. Liam had grown more confident in his interactions with the ravenous tribe. Each day brought new lessons, not just about their behaviors, but about patience, trust, and understanding. Now he felt ready to explore a new possibility, sharing his discoveries with other humans in the galaxy, to show that the legends of fear were not the full truth. Liam spent the morning observing the tribe. They moved gracefully through the forest, their glowing markings pulsing rhythmically. Young members played near a stream, splashing water carefully while older females watched and guided them. Liam noted the care, intelligence, and cooperation in every movement. He realized that stories about the tribe being dangerous or mindless predators were false. They were a highly intelligent and organized society, protective of their land and each other, and misunderstood by humans who feared what they did not know. After hours of observation, Liam carefully prepared to send a secure transmission to Earth. He knew the message had to be accurate, respectful, and clear. Using his data pads, he compiled detailed notes, sketches, and recordings of the tribe's behaviors. He included observations of their cooperation, problem-solving, and social structures. He described their rituals, the gentle way they cared for their young, and the intelligence behind their every action. Most importantly, he emphasized the importance of patience, respect, and understanding when approaching them. Before sending the transmission, Liam wanted one last check. He approached the tribe slowly, holding up a fruit in a simple gesture. The older females paused and observed him carefully. One stepped forward, her glowing markings flickering warmly as if giving approval. Liam smiled softly. He knew that the tribe's trust would make his report credible. The human audience might never fully understand the subtle gestures and signals, but the respect between him and the tribe could be seen in his detailed observations. Once the message was sent, Liam watched as it traveled across the stars, reaching scientists, explorers, and diplomats on distant planets. He felt hope that the galaxy would finally see the tribe not as a threat, but as a civilization worthy of study, respect, and perhaps friendship. The tribe remained nearby, curious but calm. They seemed to sense his intentions, their glowing markings pulsing gently as if acknowledging his actions. Liam realized that understanding was the first step toward bridging worlds. That afternoon, Liam took a different approach. He allowed the tribe to lead him through their territory, following their paths and observing their routines. He noticed how they shared resources, guided the young, and maintained the balance of their environment. Every action had purpose. Liam began to see patterns in their communication, subtle signs that revealed their intelligence and social cohesion. He marveled at the way they lived in harmony with their world, taking only what they needed and respecting every living thing around them. As the day went on, Liam noticed that the tribe seemed more relaxed in his presence. The young members played near him without hesitation, and the older females approached for brief gestures of acknowledgement. He realized that trust was now mutual. They had accepted him not just as an observer, but as a respectful participant in their world. Liam understood that this connection could be a model for future human interactions with alien civilizations. Approaching with respect rather than fear, patience rather than aggression. By evening, the twin suns were setting, painting the sky in shades of violet and gold. Liam and the tribe gathered near the clearing, the melodic sounds of the aliens blending with the forest's natural hum. He watched as the tribe performed their routines, teaching the young, communicating silently through gestures, and maintaining the forest's harmony. Liam felt pride and gratitude. He had come to a feared world and found not danger, but understanding. Liam reflected on the day's events and the message he had sent. Across the galaxy, humans would now hear a different story, one of patience, respect, and mutual understanding. He hoped this would change perceptions, encourage empathy, and inspire future explorers to approach the unknown with curiosity rather than fear. The tribe had taught him valuable lessons about life, intelligence, and the importance of harmony with the environment. As night fell, Liam sat quietly at the edge of the clearing, watching the tribe move gracefully through their forest home. The young played safely, the adults guided them with care, and the glowing markings of each alien pulsed gently in the soft light. Liam smiled, realizing that understanding had replaced fear. He felt that this was the beginning of a new chapter, not just for humans, but for the relationship between humans and the ravenous tribe. The forest hummed softly in the night, alive and full of life. Liam felt a deep sense of connection with Xylaris and its inhabitants. The tribe had accepted him as one who respected their ways, and in return, he had gained knowledge, trust, and friendship. He knew the galaxy would soon hear a different story, one of hope, understanding, and the power of respect across species. The twin suns of Xylaris rose slowly, bathing the forest in soft shades of gold and violet. Liam stood at the edge of the clearing, watching the ravenous tribe move through their territory with grace and precision. The forest was alive with the hum of life, and the tribe's glowing markings shimmered in harmony with the light. Liam smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Years of observation, patience, and careful action had built something extraordinary, a bond of trust and understanding between a human and a species long feared across the galaxy. The tribe had grown accustomed to his presence. Young members played freely near him, splashing water in the streams or chasing one another between glowing plants. The older females moved with elegance and intelligence, occasionally pausing to observe Liam. Their melodic calls, once curious or cautious, now carried tones of recognition and acceptance. Liam knew that he had earned their trust, not through force or dominance, but through respect, patience, and the willingness to understand their world on its terms. Today, however, felt different. Liam had received messages from distant planets, confirming that his reports and recordings had reached other humans. Explorers, scientists, and diplomats were astonished. Stories of the ravenous tribe had always been filled with fear and exaggeration, warning humans to avoid Xylaris at all costs. But Liam's reports told a different story, a story of intelligence, cooperation, and harmony. Humans were beginning to understand that fear alone had prevented them from seeing the truth. As Liam prepared to share more of his observations, he noticed a young female of the tribe approaching him. She carried a small bundle of glowing fruits, offering them with a careful gesture. Liam accepted the gift with a gentle smile, understanding that this simple exchange carried great meaning. It was more than food, it was a gesture of friendship, a sign of mutual respect. He realized that this bond would be the lasting legacy of his time on Xylaris. The day passed with exploration and learning. Liam followed the tribe along hidden paths, discovering areas of the forest he had not seen before. He observed how the aliens maintained balance in their environment, carefully selecting food, tending plants, and guiding the young to avoid danger. Each movement was deliberate and intelligent. Liam took notes and recorded their patterns, knowing that this knowledge could help humans approach other alien civilizations with respect and understanding. As evening approached, Liam gathered the tribe near a familiar clearing. He had brought a small recording device to capture their melodic calls, hoping to preserve the subtle beauty of their communication. The tribe moved naturally, unbothered by his presence, performing rituals and routines that showcased their intelligence and care for one another. Liam watched, amazed by their harmony, and felt a profound connection to their world. Liam thought of the wider galaxy. His observations and reports would challenge old fears and legends. Humans who once avoided Xylaris would now see a new possibility, one where intelligence, patience, and empathy could build bridges between species. He hoped that this understanding would inspire explorers, diplomats, and scientists to approach other worlds with curiosity, humility, and respect. The tribe had taught him a lesson that words alone could not convey. Trust and understanding were more powerful than fear and prejudice. As night settled over the forest, the glowing plants illuminated the clearing in soft light. The tribe moved gracefully, their markings shimmering like stars in the dark. Liam watched them, feeling a sense of peace and accomplishment. He had earned a place in their world, not as a conqueror or intruder, but as a friend and observer. The bond they shared was quiet yet profound, a testament to the possibility of connection across species. Liam stood and looked out at the horizon, imagining the stories that would now be told. The ravenous tribe would no longer be feared for the wrong reasons. Humans would begin to see them as intelligent, protective, and worthy of respect. And his own legacy would live on, not through force, adventure, or fame, but through understanding, patience, and the simple act of seeing another species for who they truly were. As the twin moons rose, casting soft silver light over the forest, Liam took a deep breath. Xylaris was no longer a place of fear. It was a world of learning, connection, and harmony. And in that world, a human had made a difference not by conquering but by understanding. Liam smiled, knowing that the story of the human who feared nothing would be remembered, not as a tale of courage in battle, but as a story of empathy, trust, and the enduring power of mutual respect. The forest whispered around him, alive with life and light. The tribe moved among the trees, their glowing markings pulsing gently. Liam watched them, content. He had come seeking understanding, and he had found it. The bond he had built with the ravenous tribe would endure, a bridge between worlds, a legacy of hope, and a reminder that fear can always be replaced with knowledge and respect.